advance. I'll have to deal with that later.
Welcome. What for? Oh yeah. You guys all leveled up.
Yeah,
I forgot.
Wait, did we get an advance?
Yeah, I forgot about that. So I'll have to.
JT was asking about that, and is it just it's kind of I wasn't thinking about how level up here in SWADE, so yeah, you should gain one advanced, so whatever.
Advanced, yeah, okay.
Yep.
So it's like a new edge or you've done before.
So you're at 5. Did I say?
Yes, yeah. This would be our
It's
5th.
4 when you get to seasoned.
Yep.
So you'd be at 5, somewhere in there.
Oh,
and then I know Indy has gotten in and done stuff, but the Deadlands content is in here. You can change your character sheet if you want it, make it all Old West Deadlands themed, and
What?
and then if you just go to the top of your sheet, you change whatever, something like, I think it says sheet.
Yeah, the bigger thing now is over in the packs. You have actually all the
edges and stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna have to completely.
So it's under with folders. There's a Deadlands folder. They're separate, which is a little wonky, but if you know so you kind of have to search 2 places. But if you know that it's from the one, Max, we were playing with the Deal with the Devil the other week as well. It's actually kind of cool, like how that works. So I'll have to get that figured out if that comes up, and that's pretty cool. And then I was in for a little bit doing that, and then didn't come back to it. They're adding the companion content as well for free. I think a little backlash of pricing for the content, which would be cool because that actually has some additional stuff. I think Huckster Harrowed I think is in there. I think there's some additional stuff in there too. So to take a look at, but that'll be in there too, which would be cool. So.
Yeah, I guess. Well, I guess I should just drop the actual powers in now that they're available.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because I don't know if it, the PowerPoints and things work properly. But
I mean, I have it set up all right, but let's just see.
I wish it would figure out to give me Benny. No. Did you ask anybody about Benny's in your play-by post, Zach?
No, I haven't. I think what I'm gonna do, because the module I'm running has like chapters broken up.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna give break up each of the chapters into like 2 sessions and give everyone Benny's.
There you go. Nice.
At a certain point.
Yeah, it'd be cool. All right. Okay, welcome guys. Let's get into it. So recapping last session a couple weeks ago, we started that with you in Spooky Hollow as you were helping out some of the miners deal with a situation, something that was bothering them. Prospector Bob just thought that it was the Heason boys causing ruckus, but forget the guy's name, but
Tyree.
What's that?
Is it Tyree?
Tyree, yes. Tyree had said that no, it was something else, some of this old legend of kind of these ghosts or something, and you went out and found these skeletons, headless skeletons, strewn about. Took care of those. But then as the Reverend went down into a deep crevice there in this little hollow, you did find the skulls, and at the same time, these headless horsemen creatures appeared and, attacked the group. But you were able to get Reverend the tools he needed to set these skulls ablaze down below in the crevice, and once that finished, it depleted these creatures and took them away from this world back to the what is the it's the Never region of
the hunting
grounds. Thank you. Yes. And yeah, so then from there you went back and talked to the miners. Bob showed you the safe, because that's kind of what you had went out there to talk to Prospector Bob and hopefully get access to Agent Reeg's safe. You see that. We're all excited. You had a key, you went to set that in, but there was a little combination dial, and unfortunately not something you could get into. There's one more piece to that puzzle. So from there, you headed back into town. I think from there you went to your house, right? And then I think you stayed the night, moved the rock around as you've learned to do. Stayed the night, I believe, and then because then we came up in the morning, and then you went. Did you go see Dr. Kirk right away?
I went to visit Millie and see if she by chance knew
That's right. You had
the
breakfast there.
combination, any special dates, things like that, and then went to the doctor from there.
Awesome. Yeah. So breakfast there. Then you went and saw Doc. Finally found your fellow Twilight Legion contact within Easton Hill, and
After ignoring many hints.
yes, and you know, you learned some information you kind of already knew, but definitely gained some new information, and that's where we pick up. So I think basically you guys were leaving the doctor's office, figuring out where to go from here.
Well, probably time we go visit Miss Kenny in the jail cell.
Yes, indeed. See if we can track down a lead on them Ghost Steel Gang folks. People seem to think they were related to the disappearance.
Yeah, you guys would recall, I think Marshall Wister has mentioned that, you know, potentially the gang might have something to do with it. You know, and then Dr. Kirk as well mentioned that Reeg was seen running around with the gangs. He didn't specify which, but mentioned that as well as something. So, all right, so you guys heading to the jail then?
I think so, unless anyone's got any better ideas.
No, I think it's about time we looked into these folks and figure out what exactly they are up to.
All right. So heading over to the jail. So we are here. I think this is your third day in town, and it is, you know, mid to late morning. After breakfast, chatting with the doctor, heading over to the jail there. It's quiet around here. There is it's kind of a connected building, but you can see that the jail is definitely a little bit more fortified, if it could be, compared to the office where Marshall Wister was, where you met with him earlier. So just kind of a solid plain, some kind of a concrete type structure with some very narrow windows with bars across them. It doesn't look like it initially doesn't look like it has any access around the outside walls, other than the, you know, couple barred windows.
Is it connected to the marshal's office?
Yes. Yep. It's kind of joining, you know, like that was set up, and then yeah, it looks like it is somewhat connected. They look separate buildings, but they're connected. Yeah.
Well, reckon we have to go through there, get into the jail.
Yeah. Oh, let's hold on a second, because we know the marshal is kind of in with
Heaston.
With Heaston, I guess.
Well, I mean, if we frame it as we're trying to go after the gang, I don't see why they would have any, take offense to that at all.
Sure.
What good could the gangs be doing them unless there's something we're not seeing?
Well, let's hope there ain't nothing we're not seeing. And
I mean, they already have one of their members locked up, so maybe it's
And they
a bargaining
have a-
chip, or they actually are opposed.
And they do already have a bounty out. It's not like they're not looking for these folks.
Right.
So if we angle it that we are collecting the bounty, or hoping to, and we need to pump up for some information, the marshal should go along with that and not be particularly suspicious.
Let's hope not.
Or perhaps, Reverend, you would prefer to go in there under the guise of godly support.
No, I don't think I need to do that. I think that since the marshal's already seen us and knows we're new in town, I think going in there pretending to be Miss Kinney's preacher and concerned about her soul might arouse more suspicion than just going in there talking about the bounties.
Well, considering I'm the least bounty hunter-esque, I shall stay outside, keep an eye out for other concerns.
Reverend, you were the only one that went in last time, right?
I
Pretty
believe
sure
so, yes.
Really hasn't met anyone else. Maybe just kind of knows the group from association, but I think otherwise there hasn't been any other actions.
Yeah, maybe I'd stay outside as well.
I'll head on in.
I guess I'll go with their Uncle James.
All right. So, the Coopers head in to the marshal's office here. Step inside a small room. There is a, just simple desk. There's an internal jail cell there, and then you can see a kind of a hallway to the left that looks like that would go towards where the jail proper is. You come in, see the marshal there sitting back in his chair. Looks like he's just looking over some things on his desk, whatnot. Looks up to acknowledge you coming in. Hello there. What can I do you folks today?
Well, Marshal, we've seen the bounty for some of the gangs out on the board, and heard you had one of their members locked up in their jail. Wondering if we might be able to talk to him, maybe glean some information, help us collect on that bounty.
You happen to be an attorney there, son?
No, sir, I do not. No, sir, I'm not.
Well, then, you ain't talking to my prisoners. No one's talking to my prisoners except her attorney.
Well, I did see a fancy-looking fella milling about outside. Perhaps he's a lawyer. Let me go check.
Yes.
And John
Yes,
will.
I didn't say a lawyer. I said her attorney. Her lawyer.
Well, let
So
me
is
see if it's
there,
hers.
I'm taking that means she has one. Is he local in this town?
Yes, sir.
Well, that must not have been him. This 10-foot looks like he ain't from around these parts.
I don't much recognize your faces either. Been in town long?
Not very long. Just rolling in a few days ago.
Hanging out with
always,
those other peculiar nosy folks, kind of getting in everyone's business. That old Reverend that walk around looking half dead.
At least it's only half.
You know, seen him around a time or two. Well, considering you're doing a fantastic job of holding the law, would you be obliged telling us where the madam's lawyer is, so we may inquire to him as to potentially set up an interview?
Fancy selves law dogs now all of a sudden?
As I said, we just saw the bounty board and look for any edge we can get.
Well, generally, go out and, find out what you can on your own. That's how it works being a bounty hunter. Don't really much discuss my open cases, especially with the newcomers. Not sure what you're up to. Need somebody reliable that I know can get the job done, not waste time or spend unnecessary blood.
Well, perhaps there's something else that we could do to prove those qualities to you. And then maybe you'll let us help you out on this little case you got. You know, for the agreed upon bounty, of course.
Yeah, he leans back in his chair, and a tinge of maybe kind of frustration in his face. As I'm listening, your offer, what do you have in mind?
Well, I mean, were there other bounties on the board that weren't related to the gangs?
Yeah, yep. I did just post that today,
Oh,
actually, in handouts under setting info. There are 2 other. You got the Little Rock regulars, Sage Dragons, and then 2 individual outlaws as well.
Where is that? Is that?
Under the setting info category. I just posted in general.
Oh, okay.
Come to it. Right, I could put that. I should put that in the game too. Think of that.
That's where I was like,
Oh
I don't
yeah,
know.
sorry, no, in Discord.
No, it's in Discord. You know what? Oh, that was- Well, say we. Well, I'd have to confer with my colleagues, of course, but say we bring in one of these other lone outlaws, India Red or Demetria, that were also out there on the board, and if feel it's clean, as you say, ain't no time wasted. Help us
As I said,
move along on the gangs.
hunting outlaws around these parts is hazardous to your health. Even for those that are experienced in the profession. If,
Yeah, so is gambling and drinking, but ain't stopping me.
Yes, sir. Well, if you got the itch to head out and find some people, then by all means. When the poster says wanted alive, that's how you're gonna get paid, so make sure that happens. So whether you want to go through one of these individual fish or rather a school, it's up to you. Doesn't bother me. It's not really gonna show me anything. I'm not really gonna have any other information. I suggest you stay away from them, but you're really itching, maybe come across some loose lips about town.
Yeah, fair enough.
Don't seem
Guess
seem too concerned with these outlaws being apprehended there, Marshal. Got two willing folks here trying to do their part to clean up the county, but feeling like a bit of a stonewall here.
All the information you need is on that board outside the office. If I knew where these outlaws were, go track them down and bring them in. I wouldn't be paying people, perhaps like you, to do it for me.
All right, I guess with that, John will go ahead and head back outside.
yeah.
Kind of gives you
Aw.
a sarcastic good luck as you guys head out.
What a
You would have noticed there wasn't anybody in the interior cell inside that room, so you can assume that any prisoners would be in the side building.
okay. It's quite the stubborn old dog, ain't he?
You run into some problems?
Yeah, well,
So I'm
Well,
gonna real quick. I'm gonna stop right here and kind of go back in time. JT and Reverend, anything you want to be doing while they're in there having this conversation?
I'm picking my new powers. Hold on.
I mean, clearly we can't hear the conversation going on inside, but I think JT is going to spend most of that time really eyeballing those who may be hanging about the sheriff's office and jail. I mean, there has to be potentially something interesting in the area. I mean, this is an area we haven't hung around dramatically in our Q&As. So just kind of, surveying the people and seeing if there's anything suspicious or if we're being followed.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a notice check for that.
You got it. And then for the rest of you, if we do want to head down the line of JT being a legal authority, I pulled some interesting facts from 1884. So,
I went down a rabbit hole this evening doing research for this episode, and we'll see. One of those like, oh, you guys might talk this NPC for 2 seconds, and I just spent an hour learning about all this. But anyway,
That's incredible.
So, JT, you look about, keep your eyes open. There's not a ton of traffic at this end of town. You are kind of on one end of town. The jail's here. Next door you have, the office. So, the other buildings aren't really significant nearby. So there's not really much going on here for traffic to be, anything of note. Beyond that, there's nothing really. You hear a little bit of rustling from within the jail building. You can tell there's somebody in there from one of the cells, but beyond that, that's about it. It's not really much else to gain.
now the Aspen Lounge is nearby. That's the same place we visited, correct? Our dive.
Aspen was where Elmer Blaine was. Yeah.
And he did seem to react a bit when we
Number
mentioned either he mentioned the
3.
Ghost Steel Gang or we did. I can't remember which, but he
Okay.
seemed
So yeah, it is kind of across the street there.
Anything going on over there of note, perhaps? No?
Not this early, really. No. Nope. Very quiet. Yeah. If nothing else from you guys, transition back to the Coopers coming out of the office.
Yeah, we're good.
All right. So yeah, the group reconvenes together out front.
For someone who's allegedly trying to track down these criminals, he didn't seem too interested in sharing information that may lead to their capture. But apparently, Miss Scarlet's got an attorney in town. Maybe we could track her down or track them down and maybe talk to them about letting us talk to her.
An attorney, you said. So there's a local attorney that represents the Ghost Steel Gang?
Well, Scarlet, at least. Not too sure about the gang as a whole. Where?
Todd, you said there are windows on like the jail part of the building.
Yes.
How high up are those?
They're definitely more to the upper end, upper side of the building. So, standing up, like you might have to kind of, reach up and over, maybe even get an assistance to get something up there. So, yeah, think of like your small little basement style window.
Okay.
Yeah. And then just they're narrow, thin and narrow with bars on them.
Okay.
Going about town, give me common knowledge rolls.
Sure.
Rolls.
I don't know, you're kicked out of the game.
Yeah, I lost connection for a second.
Mine disconnected.
Ready to go?
So I did just
Reverend.
pick up this edge. Is that posting?
Has not yet.
Okay, wait, how? Oh, here. I think I clicked the wrong thing.
There you go, streetwise.
Yeah. Would that apply to this one?
Can I not expand? Did you pull that from the game?
Yeah.
Not have the. Oh, I think it's on the way I have things set up. I think so. It's not showing the info. I think. What's it say?
Here, I can try to.
Or I guess I could look it up too. Is that a Deadlands?
No, it's a SWADE. Here, I can copy paste it. If I could press enter.
All right, cool. Not a front local black mark, blah, blah, lay low. Suited intimidation and persuasion rolls made to network with shady or criminal elements. Okay. So for what I'm asking for here, this doesn't apply.
Okay.
Necessarily. So, but I think Reverend.
Oh, I got my comment.
Yeah, and then JT. Okay. Yeah. So, you guys just going about town and whatnot would recall that there is in fact a law office in town, number 29. So 1 block over.
All right.
You guys are actually right nearby. So there is a law office in town.
Yeah, I think we passed the law.
And actually,
office, didn't we?
now that I think about it, you
Who's you?
you guys, you all.
Okay.
Sorry.
those of us.
When you went and talked to Heaston the other day, when you first came in, he was talking to somebody, and I believe it was Mr. Angus Deal, and he had briefly introduced you before dismissing him.
Right.
Let me see. Yeah, Heaston was going over some kind of finances or something.
Right, right. Oh yeah, I think we've been
John, was there
introduced
anything
to
else you were
more
asking about for the windows?
No, I was just trying to decide if I wanted to potentially go over there and try to peek in
Okay.
or not. Yeah, John's actually going to do that. He's going to walk over to one of the windows and see if he can, maybe jump up and grab onto some bars and pull himself up to be able to look through.
Okay. I think that's a notice roll, so go ahead and do that. Nice. Are you... Well, first with that, so you head over to the jail and you go ahead and jump up along the side. It's not much of a jump at all. You could probably reach the bars, more pulling yourself up to get in. And your hands hit the cold steel bars, pull yourself up, and as you're pulling yourself up, you do hear a higher-pitched feminine voice inside, kind of a grumble, and then your head pops up and you do see a female kind of hunched over on a makeshift little kind of a bed, if you will, if that, and just kind of hear out from her. What are you doing up there?
Well, howdy, ma'am. What's her name? Scarlet something?
Yes, Scarlet something. Agnes Scarlet Kenny.
Kenny.
Scarlet, yeah.
You Miss Scarlet Kenny, I presume?
Who's asking?
Name's John Cooper.
And you are?
Oh, I'm looking,
Just some sort of peeping Tom?
No, I'm looking for a friend of mine. I heard he might have done some work with you recently.
Friend of yours that done some work with me, huh? I don't... You're not off to a good start there, Mr. Cooper.
Do you know
Because if you do know who I am, you know that's a load of bull.
Well, you know how rumors are around town. Sometimes they're true, sometimes they're the bullshit. So if you don't know Lynn Buckles, then I'm sorry to have wasted your time. And when he says that, he wants to see if he notices like any kind of I guess reaction or anything.
Yeah, give me a notice check. All right. Let's see. Yeah, you do see. Sorry, I was just making. I didn't know if what name he used for them, but yeah, Yeah, you do see there's enough of a reaction, definitely. Just kind of like she's kind of staring off, and then a little bit of a twitch of the head towards you when you say that. So, what about Mr. Buckles?
Well, he's gone missing. I'm trying to track him down and find him. So you
And you decided to
acquainted
come
with him?
talk to somebody locked in a cell.
Well, that's rumors around town said that he might have had some association with you, and figured since you were here, might as well stop by and pay a visit and say howdy.
Well, I'm not sure what happened to Mr. Buckles. What did you hear about the supposed involvement with him?
I'm trying to remember what.
All we know is that the doc saw him running around with the ghost steel, and like maybe there was some connection. Didn't Prospector Bob say something
I don't
about
know. I don't think he did. The other thing would have been, I think from Marshall before as well.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what the doctor. What did he? I guess how did he?
Was oh no, Heaston told you.
Well, he
His-
told us about the pistol at Elmer.
Yes, there you go. Did he I forget how much Heaston said about that? He said
I'm trying to remember too what the doctor had said about it. And he just said he was running with them. If he was working with, I can't remember how he kind of phrased it or what he said.
the doctor. He didn't really specifically say gangs. He just said that he was, or specifically say a gang. He said running with gangs.
Oh, okay.
Thought the marshal had called out the Ghost Steel gang specifically.
He had said that, the Ghost Steel running around might have seen Buckles the night he vanished.
Mm.
Or the night he left town. Yeah. I think the only other connection to Scarlet, other than you see the poster that she's with the group, and yeah, you know that there's a connection. I don't think there's any other information you had. Yeah. So yeah.
So you don't know what happened to Buckles, but you do know him. You are acquainted with him.
Yeah, I know of him. Seen him around town. Sure what happened to him, but I found myself here, so it disappeared while I was here.
Yeah, I suppose that is true. How long you been in this current residence?
Too long, that's for sure. Something I didn't do.
Yeah, I heard you got yourself a lawyer.
I suppose. All just a song and dance. All trying to frame selling a unregistered weapon.
Selling an unregistered weapon, that seems
The Gatling pistol.
what kind of unregistered weapons they got around these parts. I heard there was some sort of ordinance about carrying weapons in town.
That we have been ignoring.
Well, the marshal didn't say anything, so
Well, I'm innocent, so I don't know what they're talking about, but wherever you heard that from, you tell them it's a lie.
Mm-hmm. Well, I believe her. Can we hear this conversation, or are we all just standing around by
Yeah.
the
I'd
window?
say you're just standing around.
Okay.
And in fact, you guys, anyone outside would hear movement from the marshal's office, seemingly coming outside.
I'd elbow
Do I-
elbow John's leg if I heard something coming.
And
Yeah, I think JT will go to intercept the marshal if he comes out the front door.
he does, in fact. You hear the door open. See a gentleman coming forward that you assume, JT, you haven't seen him yet, I don't think. So you assume it's the marshal. He does have his bright metal badge affixed to his shirt.
I'll buy you a minute, John, but I'm probably not going to get real far with this conversation.
Have some more
Marshal.
confidence in yourself.
Marshal, you are the marshal, yes? I sort of approach it.
Just
All about finery.
heavy sigh, like, what now? So, yes, sir, what can I help you with? It's time for grub.
I'm hearing about town that there might be illegal weapons at the Aspen Lounge in the hands of the owner, Elmer, there. Has that been looked into, sir?
You with those Cooper boys, they're in here trying to snoop around with legal business of these parts?
I'm going to look really offended and say, I'm
Give me-
sorry, the Coopers are with me. Perhaps you are mistaken.
Give me
What do you
give me a performance roll.
That's always performance. I'm about to
You're-
send some points.
Unless you have something else, but basically to hold this distraction.
Yeah, I mean, it's persuasion or...
I think persuasion falls under performance, right? Because I
Yeah,
don't
I
think
mean-
there's a persuasion skill.
Yeah, I think
Oh, there
there's
is.
there's
There is.
persuasion
Yeah, there
skills.
is.
it's one of the
I have
core
a
skills,
persuasion
I
skill.
think.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll take that.
Okay.
I just want. You just need a new skill called bullshitting.
Yeah. So you seem to, as John is basically like hanging off the side of the building over there, and you see the marshal a couple times. He kind of looks around past you, JT, looking at the other group, and maybe counting heads. He sees two others. He doesn't really see John, but you hold his attention pretty well.
I mean, that would seem to be a matter that the marshal would look into, yes?
I didn't say I haven't been looking into it. I said, unless you, man of the law yourself, doesn't much concern you.
Well, now, that is the question, isn't it? Where's the law fall on this matter? Do you represent all the law or only the law that's in this office? I'm just curious.
I represent the law where it needs to be represented in this town. Mr.
Oh, I thought since you knew of my associates, you would know who I was, but apparently you are
Another
unaware
Cooper?
of that information. No, sir. No, sir. I'm going to try to avoid giving him my name as long as possible.
Well, I'm
Now, to
sure,
the matter-
sure a gentleman
matter
in
at
fancy
hand.
clothes like your own has a fancy name to go with it. 2, 3, 4 parts.
Oh, absolutely. Jubal Thaddeus Beauregard III, Professor of Miracles, on attention to this town, hopefully to remuneration, profit, and a good time.
You gave up on not giving your name pretty quick there.
Uh,
I mean, JT does like a little bit of a show, right there, John.
Y'all better
God,
get moving.
there's so many places. There's something I was looking for.
I guess probably at that point too, John here and JT kind of going on and rambling. He's probably thinking, well, Marshall's probably not going to put up with this shit for too long. Probably should go ahead and drop down from hanging on the window here.
He, the marshal, he says, I think it was the dance hall. You looking for fun? I'll find yourself over at the poker house or the dance hall, but unless you're just here to chit chat, as I said, it's time for grub. I've got things to do.
Oh, fantastic. A good meal. We've only had Miss Millie's helping so far. Where does the marshal eat? Just out of curiosity.
You know, take me on a date, buy me lunch there, Mr. Jubal Thaddeus Beauregard III.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Particularly since I think it's of imperative nature that Mr. Elmer's acquisitions are looked into by the law.
Sure are persistent. As I said, whether that situation is being looked at is concern of myself. I didn't say it wasn't, I didn't say it was, but he taps his badge. He says, if it's being taken care of, it's being taken care of.
Oh, fantastic. You can tell me all about that as we eat at the establishment of your choice.
Give me another persuasion.
Incredible. Incredible.
Yes.
I'm just heading over to JD's for a quick bite for the road. Won't be quite uneventful. I will gladly save you time. Tell you that there's nothing else I got to tell you.
Now, as the resident head, most important law dog in this entire county, perhaps a matter you would talk about quite a bit.
What was that last part?
I matter you. I would assume that you would know quite a bit about everything. We'll rephrase it that way.
Tips his hat to that. Says, indeed. But again, you and your... And he breaks away now and he looks around and... is there one more of you around these parts?
At least
I'll just
one
have
more.
A
Perhaps
full,
3.
like a full coughing breakdown, like right next to JT.
Sir, I told you to go get yourself looked at. You're gonna ruin my appetite.
While Mr. Kirk did look at him, he told him that whatever ails him will probably never get better, perhaps get a slight bit worse. But did offer us some mighty tasty alternative ways to kill the pain. Now, didn't the dear Reverend?
Yep. Something like that.
Now, we never did establish the part whether it was contagious or not, did we?
So I was kind of looking into this, and they didn't know about infectious disease at all. They had no idea how it worked. So, like, tuberculosis, doesn't matter. They didn't know how it was transmitted. They had no idea. It probably is, but
Well, they probably thought we were possessed by some demon or some such, which in your case is actually kind of true.
it's actually more true than tuberculosis. What year is it? I forget. It's
83.
1883. Yeah, the infectious disease understanding came in like 1930 or so, 30, 40. They have
Oh,
no
wow.
idea. No idea how this works.
It's 83 or it's 84? I thought it was 84.
Could be 84, sorry.
I think it's found at the end of 83, and then everything goes to hell in 84. Yeah, because April and May.
You're right.
84,
Sorry, you're right. Yep.
Yeah.
84.
Still,
They don't know shit.
yeah. Doctors.
So how does the marshal react to the contagious coughing fit of?
He definitely
Oh,
like
dear.
steps back and just kind of like, I need to get away from this. As he said, you know, his appetite's going to be ruined there, and just,
Have to be careful where the Reverend hits his chest, like to like clear his throat, because you can just go all the way back to the spine there at a certain point.
So I'll kind of quickly spit on the marshal and say, I'm going to take care of Lord and Savior here. Just have whatever you want to eat at JD's, and I'll clean up the tab later. In fact, I'll clean up your tab for the entire week because we're going to have this conversation again. Chief Law Dog.
gives you a tilt of the hat and says, if you insist, Mr. Beauregard.
Absolutely.
He just turns off and he heads away, kind of shaking his head.
Oh, wait until he gets out of earshot. Okay, is he gone? Starting to
Good
hurt my
God.
throat.
Damnation and hellfire. We need to get that taken care of.
You remember that I don't actually have TB. You remember
I know.
that, right? Okay.
I remember.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
There are
It
people
was just
watching.
where? Who? Ain't no one around.
Anything else? Okay.
So did you I can't remember if you guys were standing close enough or not, but John would ask, did you hear what Miss Kinney had to say in there?
think-
Apparently she's being held on charges of selling an illegal weapon.
Oh. I wonder where she got that. I imagine. Yeah, we really need to go find these ghost steel yahoos. 'Cause if they had his pistol, then they would have been one of the last. I mean, he disappeared when he was with them then.
That theory needs untangling, but I agree with you. We have to check the box. Did Miss Kenny give you anything to go with, Mr. Cooper? Some lead, angle, a way for her perhaps to get into our good graces?
No, she did seem to claim though that she was innocent and hadn't actually been the one that sold the weapon.
Do you believe her?
Well, clearly she's not innocent. She belongs to a gang. The question is whether or not this particular charge is a charge she's actually guilty of.
Right. I don't know, perhaps talking to the lawyer who's involved might glean some light on the situation.
Well, the law office ain't too far away. So,
And perhaps Mr. Deal would be interested in hearing of my short but very important relationship with Belva Ann Bennett, of whom I'm sure none of you are acquainted.
who?
The first woman attorney to be seen in front of the Supreme Court. I worked with her when I was in New York, doing a little bit with
Right.
the American Bar Association, some research work when I was there. Her and I had a tumultuous affair, but I learned a fair amount about the law from her.
Is that all you learned? You know what? I don't need to know.
Reverend, I think the question you're asking is, what did she learn from me?
That's not the question I was asking. The less I know, the better about what goes on in New York.
I don't know how you're going to cleanse all the sins of the world if you won't listen to the terrible deeds being done.
Does this look like a confession booth to you? And do I look like a Catholic priest?
Excuse me. I'm mistaken.
Oh, man. I'm glad my mom doesn't watch this show.
So, outside of the jail and Marshal's office, the Marshal has wandered off to go grab some food. What now?
I guess well, since the marshal's gone, the coast is clear. I guess JT or anybody else, you got any questions for Miss Kenny? She ain't going anywhere. Kind of point over to the window. But if not, I suppose maybe going to the lawyer's office might be a good next step.
Yeah, sir.
I don't have any more questions for her.
Assuming we don't get stonewalled again.
Here's hoping.
I guess actually John will go over real quick and hop back up on the window. And yeah, Miss Kenny, you said that you are innocent of selling these weapons.
Weapons? Now you're talking about weapons?
Well, that's what you told me, right? Selling some illegal weapon.
Weapon, yes. I don't know where you getting this idea more than one. Like I'm some kind of a arms dealer.
Hmm. Well, I don't know. Perhaps if we were able to find the missing weapon, that might help prove your innocence, that you had not sold it, and perhaps the true perpetrator of the crime could be found.
Give me a persuasion check on that. You cause a slip up, and she replies and says, yeah, I think that would help prove my innocence, as I said. And then she kind of like, she almost realizes like she said something she shouldn't have. Basically acknowledging knowledge of a gun. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, would you happen to have heard any rumors on who's in possession of a gun like that?
I do not.
I'm going to kind of tap John on his leg, so I'm trying to listen to his side of the conversation. Just ask her directly if it's the gun worth seeking. We're already aware of its existence.
Yeah. See, that's the we'd heard rumors about a Gatling pistol floating around town, and when you talked about illegal weapons, that's the first one I thought of, or the only one I've heard about in town. Is that the weapon in question?
Give me a notice check.
Oh wow.
Definitely, definitely a facial reaction to that, as you mentioned that. She does cover it up though with the stubbornness that she's been presenting otherwise, and says, "As I said, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't sell no weapon."
Mm. Yeah, it's
If
just
you're not here to get me out, then I don't know what to tell you. Think about going after the ghost deal. Best to write up your last will and testament.
and then try to remind me. I think like he sent in a bunch of other people. Like it was like Buckles having that Gatling pistol wasn't like a I guess a big secret, was it? Like he actually just carried around.
I think so.
He was like, "Oh, he's agency," because I saw that he didn't hide it very well. 'Cause he's a terrible undercover agent, apparently.
Right.
Good thing we are undercover agents.
Wait, we're not?
Yeah, so Heaston had said it's a rare individual who carries a Gatling pistol. And then he
Okay.
went on to say Elmer Blaine just added one to his.
Okay. Well, it's just interesting all this talk about a Gatling pistol that you're falsely accused of selling. And it just so happens Lynn Buckles was known to carry a weapon very similar to that.
Gives you a shrug of the shoulders and says, I think I've given you all the information I can. Perhaps you'll bother somebody else around town and have some more information.
All right, well, we'll see what I can do about helping you prove your innocence. I hate seeing a innocent person get convicted of something they didn't do.
There's a initial reaction of hopefulness at that, but then turns into a little bit of a frustrated scowl, and kind of leans up back up against the wall, crosses her arms.
Okay. Yeah, with that, John will hop back down and kind of start walking away from the window. So whatever they're gonna talk about, not where she can hear.
JT taps on the wall of the jail with his cane a little bit, sort of walking along. What's it made out of? Is this like adobe or brick, or like what are we dealing with here?
It is. Get it up. Stone and mortar. Yeah. Oh, it's definitely solidly built. Yeah.
Mr. Cooper, should we allow her to rot in there? I say loud enough that it should carry into the window, but not so loud that it would draw attention from the street or anything.
Hold on a second. Are you suggesting breaking her out?
No, I'm suggesting perhaps there's a flaw on this wall that perhaps with the right miracle could be accentuated. I mean, if the wall falls apart, Reverend, that's more an act of God, wouldn't you say?
Sure.
You seem almost hell bent on getting in trouble with the law, don't you?
You know, life is only as interesting as you make it.
Oh, I know that well. I also know that staying out of prison's conducive to my agreeableness.
Give me notice checks all around.
There's just a posse behind us, and they're like, "You're under arrest."
Oh,
I
jeez.
Oh
Is
boy.
it?
John Reverend.
Did it roll for me?
No, I don't see
Okay.
your. John rolled twice.
That was
Okay.
my previous one.
Oh, okay.
Done a lot of notice
There we
rolls.
go.
Okay. So, John and Reverend, you pick up just amongst your own conversations a little bit of commotion. Seems like the streets have livened up a little bit. It is getting to be early lunchtime for early break, and down the street, down Smith Street on the corner, you see that it's one location. It seems to be that people are starting to congregate. Must be an establishment there that people go for a meal and whatnot. So yeah, there's a little bit of things going on, people out and about.
All right.
Yeah, I suppose it is about lunchtime. Maybe we go grab a bite to eat and see what the conversations around town. Every once in a while, you pick up a few bits of information. Maybe somebody knows more about Mr. Blaine's association with the Ghost Steel gang, and or where he truly got that weapon if it wasn't from Miss Kinney there.
Sounds good, John.
Sure. Let's meander. Do we still want to check out the law office?
Well, since it's lunchtime, maybe we wait till after that and stop by and pay him a visit.
All right.
Are you heading specifically towards where you see the group of people, or one of your other establishments you know of?
The group of people at a restaurant we know of?
You see at 45. 45 is down the street where...
Silver Fountain.
Yeah, might as well go somewhere new, get another new set of people.
It's right across the street from where we need to go to. Yeah. The lawyer friend might be there already.
So as you head towards, you do see there's a decent crowd, considering time of day. The din of the crowd having their own conversations and whatnot. You come up and riding off, Reverend, I don't know how your sense of smell would be in your state, but John, you pick up some peculiar scents coming from the restaurant that seem to be a bit of a foreign variety. Something definitely not local. Some kind of a, maybe a Far East cuisine.
Interesting.
As you come close, you do see, the sign out front for Silver Fountain Restaurant. And just given the decoration and some of the other parts of town, you can assume that this is a Chinese offering here in Heaston Hill. And yeah, it looks like it does pull a decent crowd.
I'll just look at the other three. I'm not eating here, so up to you.
What, you scared of the food here or what?
No, they just likely don't serve the quantities that I need.
Depends on how many cats or dogs are running around back, right?
Well, you don't know until you ask. Plus, this place seems fairly busy. Let's see what kind of information we can get here.
Yeah, let's go.
So I guess we will head inside.
So entering in, it's definitely bustling for the lunch crowd, and you get hit with the aromas of the various meals and offerings that they have. But looking around, you do see, maybe Reverend, more to your benefit potentially, is that it's not all Asian dishes and whatnot. There is some more traditional, Western persuasion here in meal format, so you might be able to get your slab of meat if you ask. So looks like that it's kind of seat yourself and I'm gonna take care of you.
I guess we will find an open table. Go take a seat.
Yeah, I think we'll definitely kind of mosey in, try to find a table. And does this appear to be more minor folk, or does this appear to be more like the affluent run-of-the-mill
combination, a good combination, yeah. Healthy mix, yep. So, would you guys like to talk with any of the fellow patrons? Specifically about your current...
Yeah, I think that was kind of the...
current target, okay.
In addition to getting food, because it's lunchtime,
Yeah.
I thought, yeah, similar to, I guess, Marshall telling us to get lost and go ask around ourselves, then we'll take the advice and start asking around.
So, gentleman, a Chinese gentleman does come out and nods in acknowledgement of you all, welcomes you to the restaurant, and asks, what all you would like to eat. Lists off a few of some of kind of their staples, chicken, vegetables, and rice, things like that. And then also on the other side, more traditional Western stuff as well.
I push him for the house special, and whatever their speciality is, I'll take that. Extra hot.
Gives a satisfying nod at that.
I'll ask for if I can get a pound of chicken. Orange chicken. Fuck, now I'm hungry. God damn it.
Does sound actually
Yeah.
Chinese, yeah. Just chicken? No rice?
Yeah, just chicken.
Okay.
I'll do some of the chicken and fried rice.
Makes note of that with a nod, and
I'll,
Uncle James.
follow JT's lead and get the house special.
Too special, lots of meat, fried rice.
Just waiting for it to be the Christmas story
Oh,
duck,
yeah, the
duck or whatever. It's got the head still on it.
I love when like they chop it off and the bomb just like, oh man, it's so good.
what's
Heckling
the
fry.
problem? It's smiling at me.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll fix that. Chop.
Oh man. So he heads off and not too much longer. Brings everything out, hot in front of you. Smells amazing. Reverend, you get basically your pile of chicken.
Yeah.
Well, he wishes you to enjoy your meal and thanks you again for stopping by. Yeah, there to enjoy as you rub elbows with some tables nearby as they enjoy their lunch meals as well.
It's an
Yeah.
impressive establishment here. Is it busy like this every day?
Yes, we do very good here at the Silver Fountain. You all new here?
Yes, just a couple of days so far.
Ah, welcome. My name is Ah Lin.
Pleasure. I'm Reverend Marcus. Gentlemen.
JT Beauregard.
I'm James Cooper.
And you can call me John.
Very good to meet you all. I must get back to the kitchen though. Please enjoy your meals.
Yeah, let's I think we should probably just talk to other people here. I wonder if we just mention if we're going after the Ghost Steel Gang that if there's some more information floating about town.
Yeah, I mean that or
You can do
the
go ahead.
other six. I mean, so you've got that. You've also got the lead, I guess, just in general with Elmer, Blaine, and the pistol.
Right.
So you can be friendly about this. Well, persuasion. Try and get some information. Or maybe JT's itching to throw his big words around and maybe be a little intimidating. Each of you can, conversate.
So John will go with the persuasion style.
Likewise.
Reverend will not approach anyone.
Think. Let's see.
Dang, dude.
James just not
Got those four bennies. You get that extra one.
rolling the hell.
Yeah.
JT, anything specific for you or?
I think I'm gonna try to not quite go low profile, but I want to take a good hard look at the people that are here and see if there's anybody, either carrying weapons or looking a little more hardy stock. People that might be a little more trouble oriented that are here. I'm looking for people who might actually hang around with gangs. You know what I mean?
Okay.
More transient types.
Yeah.
Like
you
us.
see, right? You see, as I said, a good mix of people. There's locals that work in town at the various businesses. Some in pretty fine clothes, businessmen to that extent. Others that might work at some of the other, as more of like hostesses, hotel type places, things like that. And then you have a mix of miners here as well. You get maybe an individual or two together that might fit a little bit of the description you're after. At best kind of keeping to themselves, whatnot. Coming back to that, JT, but John, you just kind of leaning over, talking to some other people, mentioning what you're after, whatnot. The table that you talked to, they let you know that, to say, also you after Bud Balak, the leader of that ghost deal, supposedly. I believe he was a ranch hand out at Crittenden's. It's flew the coup to take up the rustling career. He seems was a better opportunity.
Well, it sure pays a bit better, I suppose, but life expectancy drops a bit when you start rustling cattle.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you said you guys bounty hunters, members of the law? Dangerous work itself, going after gangs themselves, let alone cattle.
Yeah, just trying to get the lay of the land here a bit. New to town, saw the wanted posters there on the marshal's office, just trying to understand who's who, I guess, here in the county. The ghost steal gang pretty dangerous.
That's what they say, at least. I'd given the reward that's on their heads, bounty that's on their heads. Yeah.
There any places here in town where folks like that might visit?
Not specifically, no. And I mean, haven't seen him in town here in quite a while himself, actually. I couldn't tell you there.
And what ranch did you say it was he used to work at?
Crittenden.
Crittenden. All right.
Which I believe is, we got a map somewhere off the chip.
Oh, like the bigger map?
Yeah, I gotta put that in the, I think I posted that in a long time ago. Maybe I never. Oh yeah. In that? I did. It's pinned in general. Yeah, oh, so it's actually south, a little southeast of town there.
Oh, okay, I see it. That's not too far away from the Spooky Hollow.
Spooky Hollow.
Good old Spooky Hollow.
As you're having your conversation, John, the rest of you just kind of doing whatever, looking around, whatnot, you likely would notice a younger-looking individual comes over, slams his hands down at the table, getting in JT's face. JT, this is an individual that of one of the ones that I had called out earlier. And as I said, definitely looks like a younger kind of punk, whatever, kid of, definitely Western attire and whatnot. Definitely arrogance about himself. Something catch your eye there, sir?
Oh, absolutely, young master. You did catch my eye, actually.
See him put a hand to his waist, where he does have a holster.
My oh, what's
Well,
the
now we
how
just-
tall are the tables here?
They're standard circular tables,
Okay.
so
No need for that. We're just having a conversation here.
So,
He
I'll
looks at-
lean in, grabbing my house special, and just sort of continuing to eat as I kind of lean in closer to him. Now I'm confused, sir. You have your hand back there like you're about to unveil a unauthorized weapon in the city limits. That's mighty particular considering we just came from the marshal's office.
he just gives you a smug look, like, who gives a crap? Pulls his weapon out and does a flourish. You, like to show off yourself? Let's go. See what you're made of.
Oh Lord,
Oh boy.
son, is this really what you want to be doing right now? Or would you like to go back to your lunch?
Well, after look at you, I don't have much of an appetite. And there is, you hear some kind of quicker footsteps come up, and another gentleman, Asian as well, similar to Alin, comes over and just says, Lewis, put that thing away and get out of here. And this other gentleman, he's wearing a simple black outfit, but he's built up a bit more. And he comes up, just kind of crosses his big arms and stands behind this young fellow in front of you. And Lewis, the other one he addressed, slowly puts his pistol back in and glares you down. JT says, "Y'all just best watch your back. The newcomers, you can just waltz around and stick your noses wherever you want. If you're looking for looking to put on a show as well, I'll be glad to send you back home where you came from." He turns and kind of hits the other gentleman kind of in the shoulder, but definitely size difference between the two, and kind of just storms out of the restaurant. And then that gentleman looks to you all, says, "Pardon the interruption. That is Mr. Lewis, Kid Lewis, as he seems to call himself. Thinks he's some hotshot gunslinger around these parts. Mostly a troublemaker, but yeah, he does make good on his words sometimes, so be mindful."
He not running with any of those gangs we've been hearing about, is he?
No.
Just kind of a...
He's all talk in that regard.
Well, all right. Thanks for diffusing that situation.
So he's more show than actual action?
Not necessarily, no. He certainly will act on it. Someone gets on his bad side, but
Hmm. We'll definitely keep an eye out.
tries to get someone else to instigate, though.
He just really wanted to duel JT here.
Yes, I believe that. Always trying to start a fight.
He
That
done
would
this
be
before? Has he done this sort of thing? He's done this sort of thing in here before?
No, not too often in the restaurants. Apparently, takes as little as looking at him the wrong way. Set him off. As I said, he's always looking for a reason to have somebody start something.
Of course.
Well, if he's looking to catch a bullet, I suppose we who are we to deny his request?
Well, on the contrary, Mr. Cooper, I did select the only gentleman at this table not carrying a heel.
Yeah, I was kind of looking forward to seeing you try to quick draw with that cane of yours.
The old boomstick.
Well, there was that, or I was considering perhaps meeting him in the street and introducing him to Boobo.
Now that would make my day. The Reverend just kind of like lays his cross on the table. It's like, I don't know what I was gonna do, but picking fights with people just for the sake of picking fights ain't very neighborly.
No.
I know what I was gonna do. I was gonna cast blindness on the kid and let him.
Get gunned down, blind.
No, just
Can't
let him
see.
wail around there for a second, wondering why he can't see anymore.
You know, just start shooting blindly.
Hit all the people in the restaurant.
Bystanders.
I was
Except us.
counting on it being a harrowing experience. No pun intended.
I would like to point out that's the second time I have not started an indoors fight when I probably could have. But
The one time you wanted to, you couldn't get anyone on board.
exactly. Right. But you know, JT is carrying a D8 in fighting, so might have
Wow,
whooped his little ass.
might have. That might be the highest that's probably the highest in the party.
Yeah, my fighting's a D6. My shooting's a 10 though.
My fighting's oh, I have it. It's a D4.
Same.
Yeah.
Hey, my shooting's also a D10.
What?
There you go.
Damn, I know the Reverend was a
Damn.
Oh yeah.
sharpshooter over here.
Look, you can't just wander around the American Midwest and not carry
I have it.
protection and know how to use it.
Not have the shooting skill.
It's not much.
I didn't say that. I said
in
not carry
your faith
protection.
there.
Well,
It's true. Don't
there is
don't the Lord give you guidance and lead you beside still waters and
certainly
carries a big stick
one
and
day
watches
after
over
I
the
got
sheep?
one day after I got robbed, going from St. Louis out to Dodge City, the Lord directed me to stop into a gun store and buy a Colt Frontier.
That's planned.
So, yeah,
It's all
Lord
in God's plan.
works in
Mr.
mysterious
Cooper.
ways, I suppose.
Sometimes he works in mysterious ways, and sometimes he works with 44.70 caliber rounds.
I got to take a call real quick, but keep going.
The crowd's kind of changing here. People are finishing up their lunches and whatnot, seemingly to filter back to work and wherever else they are doing at this time. So anything else from here?
Did you learn anything from your conversation?
Yeah, the Crittenden Ranch.
Yeah, Crittenden Ranch is where
Yeah.
Bud, I think it was his name, Bud, used to work.
Bud.
Yes, Bud Ballack, which you guys would have that information from the wanted poster.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I guess from here, we think, do you want to head to the lawyer's office?
Yeah, I
And
think
then
so.
Keep an eye out for Kid Lewis with a death wish.
Yeah, probably.
All right. So you guys wrap up lunch, head out towards the law office.
Shovel the rest of the pound of orange chicken into my
That's
face.
true. It probably takes a little while for you to eat all that pound of chicken.
And you just like open up the shirt and
Ah!
Carry
direct feed it.
Ugh.
Oh, into the hole in his chest?
Let's hope not. That's kind of gross. I hope that's not how it works.
Yeah, so you head out and around the corner, 2nd Avenue, south there to the law office. You see outside sign there for Attorney Angus Deal, attorney at law. Yeah.
Well, let's go in and see if we can't figure out his law strategy for Miss Kinney.
That's the plan.
I mean-
Ingratiate him.
Well, we need to. I mean, we'd like. Weren't we going here originally to try to get access to her? And we kind of just circumvented that. What else are we going to find out from this lawyer? Maybe he knows. Maybe he's the lawyer for the rest of the gang.
Okay.
Yeah. Find out what he knows about the case. The marshal wasn't divulging too much on any particulars.
Before we head in there, who's gonna do the talking this time?
I mean,
As I pull out a vial of Doc Maynard's Especial.
I can give it a shot, though. Most people take one look at me and lose their appetites, as that kid did.
You guys walk up towards the office, and as you're getting there, before having this JT, if you're looking to offer some encouragement, whatnot, I guess in that case, give me notice checks.
Guess we should check, make sure they're there before we.
Yeah. Notice
Bad
checks all
PowerPoints.
around.
Yeah. Reverend, you notice you see something on the door. Looks like a note.
I'll go up and check it.
It's just a simple, or James. You just see a simple, away from the office, will return this afternoon.
Well, the lawyer's out. Now, here's a question I might regret asking. Do any of you with less scruples want to take advantage of the lawyer being out?
Now, Reverend.
Don't get all indignant.
Reverend, give me a smarts.
Sure. That's my specialty. That's actually not bad.
2 buildings down across the street is Heaston Mining Office. You are right nearby that.
Sure.
I think 24.
Yeah, 24.
Yeah, 24. So that might feel significant with your current thoughts.
What, with breaking and entering? Now, I don't know what that means. Is Todd saying that?
Are there windows? Like, what's the look of this building? 1 story, 2 story? What are we talking about?
It's just a, you know, modest, simple building. I'd say just a simple 1-story. You know, front door, couple windows in the sides.
Oh my God, what is Storm Acquisitions Limited? Number 48.
I've been kind of looking at that one. What?
What the heck? Is that in the book? I don't remember seeing that.
That sounds like a. Sounds like a pretty interesting place.
Yeah, I think let's just keep on going down the street and take a look at Heaston's loft, see if there's people hanging around there or not. We're drawing too much attention for breaking and entering in the middle of the day.
Yeah, I don't think that's a good idea.
No, probably not.
It was mostly a joke. Mostly.
You guys heading down the street then?
Sure, follow JT. He's got a plan.
All right.
It sounded like you had a plan, which is more plan than I've got.
I've got the beginnings of a plan.
Well,
And JT, you're kind of like you're looking out for things.
Yeah, I'm sort of looking out. So again, we're gonna stick to that side of 2nd Avenue and head down towards Storm Acquisitions, so I can look across the street into Heaston's building. First of all, what the hell is Storm Acquisitions? Like, what do we see? And second of all, what's going on at Heaston's office right now after lunch? Like, are people back and whatnot?
So you head down, and the building there on the map, number 48, completely nondescript. It doesn't look like it's really anything. No signage. Yeah, it doesn't really notice. There's a door, whatnot. Yeah, doesn't really give anything. Give me notice rolls. Give me notice roll in regards to kind of looking about into the Heaston mining office.
Something.
So, I mean, you see a little bit of normal activity up and down the street and whatnot. It's hard to get, any good view inside of the office there, Heaston's office, to see anything significant.
But there's nobody like milling it right about out front. I mean, his guys, like, we know who we're looking
Actually, no,
for.
yeah, like actually, a couple of his sons tend to hang out there, and you do see a couple individuals that you might recognize from the last time you came by.
Is anybody else perturbed that the law office is very near Heaston's office, and around the corner the other way is the Undertaker's office? Like that whole block seems to have like a lot going on it. All right, so I go up to Storm Acquisition's door and try to enter, as if I know what I'm doing.
So the door opens. It's a simple, kind of mostly empty room with like a counter in there, and it looks like a business office. And there's two clerks.
Please tell me there's a pretty girl sitting right there, right? Please
There's
tell me
not. There are two individuals in there that, It has some loose business wear on, clerk type, and look like they're just kind of going over documents and different things. And one of them looks up and acknowledges your presence and says, hello, sir. What can I do for you?
My understanding is this is a business of the acquisition type. I'm just
And,
curious.
Squints at you like, okay, what? Confused.
Well, because if you're looking to acquire, I am looking to sell.
Well, if it's land that you have to sell, then perhaps we'd be interested.
But only land. That's the only value you have here.
Yep. Land speculation. That's what we're here for.
Do you work exclusively for Mr. Heaston? And I point across the way, or for anyone?
We are in contact with Mr. Heaston quite often, but who isn't in this town?
I just want to make sure you're open to other clients.
You have land to sell? We may be buying.
Fantastic. And which one of you gentlemen is the more prestigious?
Kinda just gives a smirk at that. Says, you can ask for me. Theodore is my name.
Fantastic, Teddy. I appreciate it.
Straight for the nickname. Love it.
You can see there's a tinge of annoyance at that, but he shrugs it off and, okay.
And I'll just sort of slam the door really obnoxiously. And then tap on the outside of the door with my cane a couple of times. I like that, Teddy. And wander back towards the group.
That who now?
There's a pair of clerks in there do land assessment and acquisition. Not exclusively for Heaston. Which I found a little strange, but perhaps a good thing. If we want to get into that law office, I had an idea.
By all means.
Well, considering that we are far better at attracting attention than stealthily making our way into a residence or office, I recommend that we cause quite a horrendous stir either at Mr. Heaston's or around the streets. Perhaps we can give him a show, Reverend.
Well, I have to admit that I'm surprised that we haven't already caused a stir when it comes to Mr. Heaston. We did, we didn't shoot his son, but certainly got involved.
Yeah. May also been a situation the younger Heaston wasn't too anxious to tell Papa, getting run off with his group of goons out there in the mines, tail tucked between his legs,
Could
attacked
be.
by some sort of mechanical owl.
Well, that part just makes him sound crazy. So, could be.
That it does, but perhaps we could do a demonstration. Perhaps, the angel of God versus the angel of steel. Boo-poo and you in the street. Lubo and you in the street. And that would give the Coopers ample opportunity to
To break into a law office in the middle of the day with Houston's office here, Marshall's office not too far away.
Now,
Gentlemen, good to see you again. How are you all this afternoon? You turn and see a well-dressed man come out of Houston's office carrying a briefcase, stepping over towards you across the street.
oh, is that the lawyer?
Angus Deal.
Yeah. Okay. Now I understand what you were trying to tell me, Todd. I got it. I didn't get it then, but I got it now.
Okay.
What time of day is it?
Mr. Deal. Just
He's
the
got
man
it.
we're looking
Lunchtime,
for.
yeah. Oh, did you stop by the office? I'm sorry. My weekly appointments, daily appointments almost, with Mr. Heaston. What is it I can do for you?
It has come to our attention that you are perhaps representing a nefarious lady that's currently incarcerated at the jail.
Oh, Miss Kinney, yes?
That's the one.
Yeah, whenever the marshal gets around to setting that up for trial. But definitely one of the lower things on my list.
Some sort of public defender, then?
No, not too often, only when they put up for it.
So you weren't appointed or anything like that. You actually are her attorney.
No, I was appointed, but pick and choose those appointments.
Somebody's paying for your
Yes.
representation.
The county, probably.
Is it the county? Can you even talk about that?
Is there something that I can help you folks with?
Yes, it is just come to our attention that the nefarious Miss Kenny might be strung up on some incorrect charges regarding a weapon of some ill repute. Is that correct?
I see you've kept your ears open in the rumors about town. You seem a man of much knowledge there, Mr.
Beauregard.
Mr. Beauregard.
J.T. Beauregard.
I assume that you can understand that that's not something I'd be able to discuss.
No, absolutely not, of course. But if I were to tell you that I did some research work in New York for the fledgling American Bar Association on legal matters, would you perhaps be interested in me recommending a few people who you could speak to in New York? You would want to be included in that rather amazing situation that's being created here in our amazing land.
Give me a persuasion check.
That's
Are
actually
you inviting
true.
this guy to be part of the bar on behalf of the bar?
Not on behalf, but
Perfect.
did some work with them, and I'm willing to spend a penny to say I actually did work with them.
That's
God,
quite
if that
impressive, Mr. Beauregard. New York's a long, long ways away, though, from here, and
It is, but of course, it's the American Bar Association is perhaps going to be all of America. That is the point, right? To bring common law and its entitlements and debates and records under one body, unified for the spirit of the common
well, it
man.
wouldn't bode so well for my integrity to sign up for an association like that and just be spilling information about my cases with any random folk off the street, yes?
Oh, no, of course not. But if I were to come into your employ as a research assistant in legal matters, perhaps we could work together on the cases.
Perhaps, but Not something I'm in the need of at this time.
Is it the need or the funds that you're more concerned with, Mr. Deal?
Oh, the latter is, he pats his pocket and throws his head towards Heaston's office. So that is certainly not a problem in this town.
All right, perhaps I can help you in another way on this matter. It has also come to my attention that our good friend who we've come seeking here in Heaston Hill, Mr. Buckles, might have been in possession of the Gatling pistol that Miss Kinney is accused of acquiring and perhaps selling to Elma Blaine. Do I have those facts about correct?
That is for us to determine when Miss Kinney goes to trial. Figure out whose weapon it was, who was the owner of that, if and when it changed hands, and she's involved or not.
Perfect. So it is Mr. Buckles' Gatling pistol and the alleged sale to Mr. Blaine that we are talking about. I just want to make sure.
What is it you're
you're not-
after with Miss Kinney, Mr. Beauregard?
Well, see, here's the situation. There are a number of conundrum sort of facts that are falling into my lap regarding the possible demise of my former friend, and I would like to get that rectified post haste. Mr. Blaine is in possession of a weapon that he acquired by killing Mr. Buckles. I perhaps might kill Mr. Blaine. Now, on the other hand, if Miss Kenny and the Ghost Steel Gang are perhaps actually responsible, then perhaps I should point my justice towards them. Seven.
Perhaps.
So, if you'd like to point me in the appropriate direction, whether it is defending Miss Kenny against the evil of Mr. Blaine, or perhaps pursuing the Ghost Steel Gang post haste, I would be appreciated. And I'd be willing to write you a letter of recommendation for the American Bar Association for such pointing, sir.
Well, I can tell you that you'll want to head after Mr. Ballack. He's the leader of that gang. Find Mr. Ballack, might get your answers.
So the reason that Miss Kinney hasn't been prosecuted yet is that we need to apprehend the rest of her said accomplices to determine the legitimacy of the possession of the Gatling pistol that cannot be found.
No, not necessarily, sir. Law takes time to process sometimes. And she unfortunately is at the wrong end of that deal.
Oh, one last thing. I noticed that the acquisition office for the land is across the street from Mr. Heaston and fairly adjacent to your own office. I'm expecting that this is the street where you spend most of your time, going from here to there to back to your office. Is that fairly accurate?
You're interested in my happenings, Mr. Beauregard.
Oh, don't
Max-
don't flatter yourself. JT's interested in just about everything he comes across.
This is true. It has been known from time to time that those dark-haired aliens who are watching us are actually manipulating us in certain triangular patterns. That's the nature
There's
of my work. Sir.
a heavy like look to the rest of you three, like what the heck?
I told you.
Mr. Beauregard,
not-
perhaps we can continue this conversation some other time. I do have work to do. I find myself at the dance hall every once in a while when I do want to wind down. So if you find yourself a little light on your feet as well, maybe we can catch up there.
Okay, that's the second time we've been told to go to the dance hall, and past experience has told me that when Todd says to go somewhere multiple times,
We should go there.
we should go there.
Yes, sir. And you can break the pattern of the aliens by walking in a pattern of Pythagoras, by the way. Just keep alternating your steps.
Appreciate it.
I look back at the group. Well, it's a theory. It is a
Reverend's just-
theory.
He's just got his hat off and he's just scratching his head like, what? I got a question for you, JT. What's a Pythagoras?
It's a theorem, a mathematical equation named for a Greek legend.
Sorry I asked.
All right. If that's the last question, I suggest we head home, acquire some better clothing for the Coopers, and plan on an evening of dancing, drinking, and debauchery.
The hell you mean? Better clothes? What's wrong with what I got on?
Well, John,
I just bought this shirt yesterday.
and you've been outside sweating in it.
I mean, we can go clean up. I just didn't know I needed to go buy a whole new wardrobe.
Yeah, I'm
Who
not
said
sure
Bibles?
what JT has in mind here exactly.
Festivities, dear Reverend. Festivities.
And I suppose too, a place like that, people having a good time, the liquor starts to loosen the lips. Might be a good place to gather some additional information about town.
Might be.
And if by chance Kid Lewis happens to stumble right into Mr. Cooper's crosshairs, perhaps we can remove that individual from the earth.
You know, it's just an angry kid. I don't know that we need to be removing people from the earth just because they grew up bad.
It's a decent amount of assumption you got there, Reverend.
Yes, I don't make a habit of killing folks unless they got it coming and have done something evil or broken some sort of law, but if we have to defend ourselves, that's a whole different conversation. Put it this way, I would not be the first to draw on Kid Lewis, but if he were to draw on us, I would not hesitate to protect us. Unless you want to die a second time, there, Reverend.
No, that's. If it's a defensive measure, I have no less of a problem with it. Though I reckon a humbling experience might shape little Kid Lewis up right quickly.
Is the Whispering Pines the only place you get a decent bath in this town?
The fancy house?
That's right.
Oh man.
We got those like special Red Dead style baths where you come in and wash you off.
I certainly hope so.
Hotel might as well.
Yeah, probably. Didn't specifically say, so. Alright, well.
So I guess we head off and get cleaned up. We got a little bit of time to kill, of course, before the dance hall will be jumping. But it does seem like Miss Kinney's association with the Gatling pistol. Sorry, it does look like Miss Kinney's association with the pistol is more connected to her Ghost Steel gang membership than previously.
Yeah, I do have to wonder what the hell Buckles was doing running around with that group.
And whether they knew Mr. Buckles was or found out.
Right. Well, perhaps tomorrow we ought to go ask around at the Crittenden Ranch, see if Balak's old boss knows anything about where he might be now.
Yeah, especially if Bud is rustling cattle. Might be something he's been taking from the ranch. So might be willing to help us out in trying to find him.
Actually, we probably have enough time to ride out to the ranch and then come back.
That's
before the
probably true.
dance.
Oh, yeah, it is only like, what, 1 o'clock? A little after lunch?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I guess let's do that. Let's ride out to the ranch and ask around.
And if all goes well, we'll still have enough time to reach the Whispering Pines fancy house for a good bath.
Does Deadlands have a travel speed? I thought.
I think there is.
Is it
Well,
Deadlands
we
or
took
is
us-
it in
SWADE, yeah.
SWADE?
Let's see,
I
I've
mean,
got
it take us very long to get to
vehicles.
Prospector Bob's.
Yeah, there's.
Yeah, it's probably. I guess it'd be similar. It was probably a couple hour or so, but
Yeah, it's like 1,500 yards in a straight line. So
I think before you said if we walked, it'd be like an hour, a half hour, or something. And if you're on a horse, it was obviously quicker.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if we take the trail out there, and we should be back.
Which I mean,
before
it's fine.
nightfall.
Okay. Either way, so
I can't imagine it's going to take that long.
yeah.
Hope not.
All right. So, here in the middle of Second Avenue, after running into the lawyer, Mr. Deal, you guys decide to follow up on one of your solid pieces of information of Balak being known to have worked out at the ranch. Head out to grab your horses, whether at your house or stables, and begin the trek that way. It's a nice day out, so it's a pleasurable ride. Other than the spring warmth that comes in the afternoon out here, but you eventually do arrive at Crittenden Ranch. Cattle ranch south of area known as Poverty Flats.
Wonder why it's called that.
Poverty Flats.
ain't no gold there. Or
Owned,
Ghost Rider.
yeah, and you might know that. Well, give me some common knowledge rules.
Common knowledge. Oh man, I haven't failed a roll yet today.
Oh, James got one finally. I thought John
Finally.
was. So, yeah, JT and Reverend, you would just have heard about town that Heath Crittenden and his oldest son Brock are basically the two that manage the ranch. They have their cattle in the Uinta foothills. Yeah, that's kind of your initial info coming in. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll ride up and I assume we see some farmhands outside
Yeah.
and tell them we'd like to speak with Mr. Crittenden if possible.
Yeah, just says sure thing. Goes and runs off, and shortly after, older gentleman comes forward and well, hello there.
Afternoon, Mr. Crittenden. My name is Reverend Marcus. I'm helping these folks out with a little bit of bounty hunting. They're on the trail of Bud. Is his first name really Bud?
Yeah.
God damn it.
Bud,
Bud.
actually, yeah,
Ballack.
his nickname is Ghost Steel. Bud Ghost Steel Ballack.
Yeah, they're on the trail of Bud Ballack. And we heard that he used to be a ranch hand here.
Yes, yes, he was. Listen, you've kind of caught me on a spot. I was just running out. I at least wanted to not be rude and not introduce or not say hello. If you all have time to ride along, I'd love to conversate more. But my son and I are running up to the foothills. We have some issue with the cattle.
I'll look around at the rest of the group, see if we're good with that.
Sure.
Is,
I mean, we're
sure.
after cattle wrestlers. May as well.
He kind of looks around, and you see him glancing down at a few of your waists. He says, looks like you guys might be able to handle yourselves.
You having problems with cattle rustlers?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Somebody out
Well,
here,
We might just be in luck then.
well, excellent.
Whoa.
It seems he, gestures towards your horses and says, seems you all are ready to travel. If so, we can be on our way.
Yeah, unless anyone objects, let's go.
Lead the way.
Sure.
So he runs off and then comes out on his horse with another gentleman, a younger, somewhat similar looking version of himself that you can assume to be Brock.
They carrying weapons?
Yes.
Okay.
And they come out and they follow along, gentlemen. And so you take the trip along with them going into the foothills area, a little bit kind of north of the ranch. And you come out to where there are some cattle. And you do see a couple that look like they've been slaughtered, actually. And Heath and Brock immediately get off their horses and go over towards that and are looking around and inspecting things and just kind of cursing up and yelling in frustration and whatnot. And these sick jokers, I don't know what they think they are. Is leaving this mockery of footprints, just all sorts of frustration and whatnot you hear from them.
It doesn't look. I know JT's mind is going right to aliens, but it doesn't look like ritualistic or anything like that, does it?
No,
It
not
just looks
necessarily.
like some. Does it look like animals did this, or are there gunshots?
You can give me a notice check.
Sure.
Anybody else can if they want. I mean,
There it is. There, I failed one.
all right, James, you got it this time. Even without without the check, you guys see that it's a pretty nasty heap of a cattle here. James, it's just this grisly, violently thrashing of this animal you see before you. Definitely not someone coming up and just killing it. Something, beast or otherwise, like tore this thing apart. Brock, the son, is looking things over, and you hear him say, just in the frustration and whatnot, says, again, not an ounce of meat missing. What a waste.
Just kind of like walk my horse, like kind of like trot backwards to the rest of the group and just like, now I'm not an expert in cattle rustling, but that don't look like a particularly effective way to make money.
No, it
No.
does not.
James, you would additionally notice, this is what I'll give your success there. You do see a large impression in the ground nearby.
A crop circle.
I will go check that out.
You come upon a large, some sort of footprint that looks to have kind of like a chicken's foot, three longer toes, or if you will. And Heath Crittenden comes over and hands on his hip, and he just comes up next to you and says, whoever's doing this, just out here, they're just stamping these footprints in the ground here, slaughtering the cattle, not doing what's the point? Not even taking anything with them, just out here to lay waste to these animals.
James, do you point out the footprint to the rest of us?
Yeah. Y'all ever seen something like this before?
I'm looking at JT.
Well, actually,
If you say dinosaurs,
there's a particularly...
Survival
Fascinating
check
story.
for anybody that wants.
I would like to go in a different direction than survival.
Okay.
How big is the chicken's foot? More than a foot?
So John, looking it over, I mean, it's easy to see that it's definitely much larger, and that they're spaced pretty far apart too.
So perhaps
we got some chocobos here.
John, you see, with your check, you look out and you can see a few more, and you can kind of follow this trail. You do see that the trail heads further north from where you guys are, and you can kind of pick that up out in the distance. Looks like there's enough of a trail that you could probably follow.
Okay. Yes, I'll
You,
point that out to can't remember the guy's name. I know Brock is the kid. I can't remember the dad's
Heath.
name. Heath, yeah. Heath looks like whatever ungodly creature did this headed north. If you all are up for a bit of tracking, we might be able to see what was responsible.
Yeah, we've got our own
So-
problems here, as you can see. You don't mind checking that out, though?
Absolutely. Now,
Go ahead, JT.
Would there-
Sorry.
No, it's okay. So JT is going to get off of his wagon, grab his, doctor's bag of science accoutrements, and begin heading over to the cattle. I want to give them a good once over, like
The
what
dead
killed them,
ones?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Science or weird science? It's probably just regular science
Yeah.
at this point.
James, did you have something? Sorry.
oh, I was gonna ask, is there anyone that may have some misgivings towards you, may be wanting to, deprive you of your cattle?
Not specifically. We deal with rustlers all the time. You were asking about Bud. He was a stand-up boy. You know, I heard that he kind of went into a line of work of the same. I wouldn't expect him ever to do anything against our ranch. But
When he left pretty well. He didn't hold any resentments towards you.
no, yeah, he just, you know, for whatever reason, kind of got into a bad crowd or something, and seemed like that was, you know, a little stubborn, but, you know, that's what, yeah, he, kind of took off, tried to get his brother to come along, who, hangs out in Uri.
In where now?
Uri, Urie.
That's somewhere around here.
It's actually, you guys came through,
That's where
you had to look at the
bartender was, right?
larger map. No, that
Right.
in between, it was on the way. I think
Okay.
it's either, I think it's between Fort Bridger and Heaston Hill.
Mhm.
So he's got a brother, does he? They close?
I couldn't tell you much about that relationship. No, just, yeah.
Can you spell Yuri for me again?
Urie.
Okay. I should have guessed.
It is, yes, it's between Fort Bridger and Heaston Hill. So you guys, yeah, basically probably went through it on the way.
All right. Okay, team. Are we doing this? Are we investigating the large chickens?
Well, what is the conclusion of your investigation over there, JT?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Are you doing something with, goggles?
Science. Well, I was looking at the goggles for a second.
Oh.
Flavor wise, right, there's the bag. I pulled down the goggles. Like, I want to look like I'm sort of investigating, you know, more in the vein of a mad scientist, right? But we're just leaning into the regular science skill here. I just
Mhm.
want to try to understand how they were killed
Mhm.
and whether it's at all even remotely natural. Like, you know, the like death by 10-foot tall chicken kind of thing. Because, and during this, I'm going to be regaling them with tales of Baba Yaga and how her house is on the back of a two-legged giant chicken monstrosity, right? And so I'm going to be kind of rambling about Baba Yaga's hut while I'm looking into this sort of.
So you see, especially off the back of Brock, you know, calling out that it seems that none of the meat is missing. And that seems very odd. Like, if something was here eating these things, why is an entire cow sitting in front of you? It is torn apart. It is thrashed apart. It is, you know, potentially looks like something was, you know, something ate it, but it's all here. So did they just chew it and spit it out, kind of a thing? Yeah, definitely a kind of a nasty, violent mess before you, but beyond that,
Is there perhaps, again, this would be really hard to tell in 1884 tech, but a little less blood than there perhaps should be by my definition?
why?
Why?
I guess I'm trying to get at, like, why you would think that.
I would think that, right?
Well,
Well,
see-
because if you're going to tear something apart, then you're not going to eat any of its pieces.
Oh,
What were you
okay.
after?
You're after the blood. I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Or a missing,
Right.
missing
No.
intestine, something.
No.
Right? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it seems like pretty much everything is here, in a mess, but it's all here. Any missing blood would have been, you know, soaked into the ground, kind of a thing like that. But yeah, it doesn't look like. Yeah, you don't notice anything.
So I've been picking through this thing, regaling with tales about Baba Yaga, and sort
It's
of
the
looking at
Baba Yaga.
you know. So I do believe that this animal was killed for simply the pleasure of killing it. There's no natural, ecological reason for this beast to be hunted down. To reflect Mr. Crittenden's earlier identification, this is a complete waste unless it is sending a message. Now, again, the chicken feet do lead me to believe there are certain supernatural components to this that perhaps we may need to further understand.
Well, whether it's a Baba Yaga or a kid with a bad disposition and a wild imagination, we probably ought to follow these chicken feet, see where they lead. Yes? No?
Yes.
All right. Heath and Brock, you see them kind of just dealing with their situation, the mess on their hands, quite literally, and they wish you good luck, and definitely come back and let us know what you find. You definitely get the impression that Heath just still thinks it's just some prank, something, whatever. Especially your thoughts about someone sending a message. But you saddle up and begin heading more north direction, following the tracks that you can see under John's well-tuned eye there to these tracks, and heading towards where they lead. That's where we'll end tonight. We'll pick up next time at the end of this trail.
All right.
Heading to the world's biggest KFC.
Yeah. Well, I can cast smite on all of our guns, and we can fry up some chicken.
You'd be set on your meat.
Yeah,
That's true. Yeah.
I mean,
Doesn't need to be
really,
fresh.
you should have had a little to-go bag.
Pick up chunks of the cow and take with you.
I mean, yeah, really, it doesn't say anything about the freshness or lack thereof in the Harrowed page.
It's just got to be raw.
It doesn't have to be raw either.
It doesn't have
just
to be,
needs
but
Oh, you
it can
just
be.
prefer it.
Yeah.
It can be, yeah. I mean, that was just a JT thing, ordering the steak basically raw.
It was what we understand. Should we compensate for Mr. Crittenden's loss of the cattle and take some of this meat on our way?
I'm not
Almost
sure. It might be pretty.
Like I pay him for a bunch of.
Might be pretty fresh by the time that.
I don't think the dead guy cares.
We will find
Correct.
out. So
The Lord proclaimed unto me.
This is great.
good stuff.
Yes.
I wish
What's
you could
the-
post in chat like links and things.
I'm just waiting to use like my stockpile of Shepherd book quotes from Firefly.
Firefly.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
You need to get on that. You need to
Well, we need to have a gunfight
Yeah.
at some point.
Hey, you guys want to spend your time running dead ends and figure out every little corner,
Trying to say something,
corner of
Todd?
Heaston Hill.
You trying to say something?
Hey, we are not in a hurry to figure this out.
No, we're not. I hope the audience enjoys this.
No, it's still a good time for sure. So All right, guys. Good session as always. We will see you back in 2 weeks. So,
All right, and hopefully fully
Yeah.
healthy then.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.